Hello, folks. I am Ed Overstreet, and let me adjust my green screen controls here. Um, I am again imaging the sun. This time I'm really banking on getting some solar flare activity. I have found some. I'll show you what I'm looking at, and then we'll go outside and take a tour around the sun, and we'll frame up the time lapse and get it started. So with that being said, let's do a screen share, and let's bring up Google, and not my streaming software, but this. And one other thing. Oops, I want to go ahead and get rid of this box. You can't see it, but it's there in my way. Back to Google. I always come to this page before I decide to do any solar imaging, just to make sure there's something worth imaging. And so this is a 3-minute old view of the sun. This is another 3-minute old. This is a 3-minute old. Some of these have not been updated. I assume they're having telescope problems. This hasn't been updated for several months. And some of these are on the other side of the Earth, so they're not currently active, and they're about to go online. So that's part of the reason. But at any rate, let me just bring this one up. And right now, this is pretty active, and the brightness levels are changing as the plasma kind of undulates both here and here. But unfortunately, there's nothing happening on the rim. The rim activity is right here. And so all we're looking at right now is this spot right here, which is where I'm going to put my crosshairs, this filament, and these filaments. And these filaments are inclined to move. So I might get a little surface action, but what I really anticipate getting is the activity on the rim. That's hopefully what's going to be captured during this time lapse. So let's go now to the gear, and if everything is working here, you should be looking at a view of the sun. In fact, you should be seeing exactly what I'm seeing, and that's this filament. And if I let me, I believe the centering isn't really quite right here, but let me overexpose this. Yeah, there's that activity. What I'll probably do is center it so I get this, and then because that's really what I'm after. Let me. And I need kind of a reference point to keep me grounded here with my anchor. And I'll go after this darker area of plasmatic activity and put the sun crosshairs right there. And just trying to keep it centered here to prevent major alignment errors. And that'll kind of help me during the intervals between AVI files, move the mount, which has a lot of RA and declination drift. So that's the reason for that. Scene is okay. Not great, it's just okay. So, but before we start the time lapse, we can head around and kind of take a look at, before we do that, let me see if I can get a better focus too. Let's go in a little. Let's try going in first, which is usually what I have to do. I'm going in 5 steps at a time, and that's very little movement. If you were outside looking at the focuser, you couldn't tell it was going in at all. That's probably starting to go in the wrong direction. I think that's a little better. One thing I do notice on YouTube, and I guess it's just the nature of compression, But when I look at a YouTube sun video, it never really looks like there's a lot of detail. So I assume that's what you're seeing. And there isn't really a lot of detail, but there's more than what YouTube shows. Same thing for Facebook, which is even worse. So at any rate, let's head around. I'm going to change this to 16 times sidereal speed. And let's go south. And let's stop there. And let's drag the exposure up some, because you never know. Some activity on the rim could have started since that last video. And I don't see much on the rim. So let's continue down. Let's look here for some rim activity. Not much of anything. And so let's, wrong way. Here's one of those hot spots. I'm tempted to dial into that and actually change the capture area to a much smaller area. Let's drag the exposure up and see if, no, there is nothing going on there. So that's a shame, because what I would really like to have is the activity on the rim that you saw in the while ago on the upper right. I wish it was down here so I could get both of these things at the same time, but it ain't gonna happen. Let's go, I think we go up now. And let's come this way a little bit. This would be actually the perfect place to get surface. And oh, what a nice spot to use to put the crosshairs right there. That'd be great. But there's nothing on the rim unless something's just happened. Well, it's trying to spit stuff up, but it's not that remarkable. I did get some good time-lapse captures yesterday. I haven't had a chance to process those yet. So, and let's going up. And I think there is some activity up here, but again, we're back to nothing remarkable. Let's go. Here's where I thought there might be something. Let's drag this down again and see. There's just nothing of interest on the surface of the sun. So we can scoot over and look at the top. Gosh, I wish, I just wish there was something going on right here. And there isn't. All right, let's head east. And let's go down, actually, let's go ahead and overexpose, and let's go frame our problems. Go east a little more. All right, this is what we're chasing. So if we raise the gain some.
Can you hear me?
Just a minute.
Lily's going to get it. Michelle just texted me. Yahoo!
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh,
I can't.
okay.
Listen. You're online,
Oh, bye.
so everybody in the internet world knows Lily's going to get something.
Okay.
So
I couldn't help
my wife's so excited. One of her grandkids uh, was able to get something she's really wanted. So
it.
uh,
Honor.
so that's we're glad. But at any rate, um, oh happy day. But at any rate, with drag, I'm a little bit speechless here. So love my grands. There is nothing like grands. Gosh, I just got a text from my daughter. It's supposed to be a secret, so now everybody knows. All right, this is our plan, and this is my reference point right here. I can't think of another place that's been. I've been watching this. This one right here is kind of solid too. I want to try something very quickly here. Uh, let's bring out. Ah, let's bring out that and see. Now let's go back to a single. And I need something that I know is going to be there the entire time. Maybe it would be better off if huh. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a place to anchor these crosshairs for alignment. Since there's nothing happening here, I think I'm going to scoot this mount over and let's just go on this area of the a little bit too far. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. It might be hard. I think it might be hard for you to see this place I'm trying to reference. But this is a dust spot. This is a dust spot. This is dirt on the sensor. This is dirt on the sensor. So it's pointless to use that as a reference. And I've got to flat calibrate all of that out when I do post-processing, or it'll show up. And but it flats out really good. So voila. All right, let's see what we're doing. Let's go up to capture. We're going to go to start capture. We're going to do, let's go ahead and give this a name, solar prom, although they're not proms, they're just solar flares. Well, we'll get it right then. Solar flare 5, 10, 10, 22, 1,000 frames. We want 300. We're going to do 15 seconds between each AVI capture. This will get a chance for the file to buffer and for me to recenter if necessary. So we're off. We're taking the first capture at 100 frames per second. And fun and games. I'm going to have to move up a little bit. And over a little bit. Too much. And we're capturing again. And it's time to babysit and coach the mount backwards and forwards, up and down. And we're on our way to 300 images. We have two taken, 298 left. I'm using sharp cap. Oh, booger. Stop. I've got to stop it. I made a blunder, a big one. So we're going to stop capture, discard, cancel. Here's the problem. I had the hard drive inside and it just took it out. So it's using my C drive to save these. So, yep, it's on the C drive. So I've got to, I do this. quite often. I got to go to my external hard drive. Let's make a new folder. 5, 10, 22 solar flares. And that was my time lapse from yesterday. I've already moved that over, but I'll keep it. Let's go ahead now. Make sure if when you change directories, don't go down here and click OK. I've done that and it doesn't change. You have to apply it first, then OK. They need to make that a little easier for me. I'm probably the only one having a problem with that. I'll tell you what, I'm having a problem with these crosshairs. I'm going to go back up to this one. I'm going to go back up to this one right here. That's just going to be easier for me. So we're going to start capture again. And we've got the right name. We got the right directory. We have 315. Let's get started. So I'm glad I caught that before I got a message, your hard drive's full. I've done that time and time again, particularly when I'm like live and I'm just not thinking. I'm more interested. I wonder if I got the sound right. I'm wondering if the definition of the sun's coming through on YouTube. And so let's move it up, Ted. Ted, nudge it. Got 2 seconds before we start. All right, another capture. Okay, it's going on 11 o'clock. It's quarter to 11 for me, Eastern Standard Time in Spartanburg, South Carolina, in my backyard observatory. And it's quarter to 11, and 1:30 is when I get a transit. I'll probably not image after that. I've got yard work to do. So, and we're capturing again. So I'll be outside. But tonight I'll be back online, and we'll be looking at the moon again. Last night I imaged the moon with the Smith Cassegrain. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to be streaming the lunar eclipse through the NASA website. NASA approved that stream. So I'm going to be one of, I don't really know how many they're going to be tapping into around the world. And kind of excited about that. I'm going to have the SCT at 1422 millimeters, which is not going to get the entire disc in. And then I have an 800 millimeter Newtonian that will. And I'll go back and forth with those two. But I need to load SharpCap on the laptop that's tethered to the Newtonian. And I'll do a trial run with that tonight. Make sure I can image the moon. I'm going to do that probably from 9:30 to 11 o'clock. And then at 11 o'clock, no, 9:30 to 10, I'll get it set up. And then at 10 o'clock, I'm going to start imaging the COCOON Nebula in both telescopes. The Newtonian with the 183 color camera and the the Newtonian has the ASI 533 MC one-shot color camera, and the Cassegrain has the 183. So that's what I'm doing. We've taken 8, 292 to go, and hopefully I'll have a run of images that can be sharpened, and the time lapse showing some activity on the surface of the solar flares misbehaving, hopefully, prayerfully. That's what I'm shooting for. The processing steps that I use, of course, I'm using SharpCap. an AVX mount. I'm using an ASI 174 camera. It's a monochrome camera. Um, I've got an IR UV cut filter on it. I'm using the Daystar manufactured Quirk chromosphere. And on an Astrotech 65 EDQ refractor. That's 420 millimeters natively, and then the Quirk chromosphere has built in a 4 times Barlow. So that's the reason why that 420 millimeters isn't seeing the entire disc. Oh, too much. And then once I get my 300 video files, I'll use AutoStacker to batch process. I have taken a flat frame already, and the flat frames will, in AutoStacker, subtract these dust spots and these dirt sensor areas. When that's done, and that'll take the longest period of time, that'll run for a couple hours. But once it's done, then it's pretty fast from then on. I'll take the 300 TIFF frames and I'll import those into Lightroom, or I'll import those into PixInsight and I'll blink through them and I'll delete the ones that are unusable. Hopefully I'll have at least 220, 30, or 40. Then I'll use a program called IMPPG, and I will sharpen all of the images. I don't use invert. Some people think I'm using invert. If you invert, then the white areas of the sun become black and the black areas become white, but the proms become visible. I don't do that. I use the curves and I tweak it and trick it somewhat, but I go to curves so that the white areas of the sun are white and the dark areas are dark, but yet it reveals the proms. I stumbled on that process, and it makes the Quirk chromosphere just super. I'm going to have to delete this frame. I'm going to go ahead and I got 282, so I'm going to cancel. I'm going to go down here. I got too far off talking, not paying attention. And let's go down to the 10th. Solar flares. Let's go to the very last one. And I'll just go ahead and delete it. That way I won't have to. 17. So we have 283 left. Let me go ahead and recenter while I am all right. Let's go now to quick. I don't want quick capture, but I just got it. It's all right. I'm going to go to capture, start capture, and we're at 282. Let's start, and we're back again. And I will pay attention. All right, so once I apply batch sharpening using deconvolution and just a little tiny bit of unsharp mask, not much. Most of my sharpening is just raising the deconvolution slider to the right in IMPPG. And once I have that done, then I'm going to go ahead and align them. And the only reason why is I want to create a GIF before I colorize them. and I want to see if there's enough activity to spend a lot of time perfecting a video, perfecting this time lapse. So I'll put it together and I'll check the activity, and if the GIF file is a keeper, then I'll go back to the files that now have been aligned, and I will either import them into Lightroom, or I will import those into PixInsight, and using the image container and image processing to batch, colorize, crop, and any further sharpening that I want. Then I'll go back into IMPPG. I'll align them for the second time, which kind of refines that alignment once they've been cropped. If I crop it, I probably won't, but if I do, that helps. And then scene's getting worse, or yeah, it's getting worse. When the scene gets worse, it looks like it needs focusing. But once I have it realigned, then I'm going to take them into PIP software for the GIF file. I don't make but a couple changes to the default settings, and you have your colorized time lapse. I owe Chuck Aub a lot of many thanks, because he pointed me in the direction of how he did it, his time lapses, and I used some of his tricks, and then I've stumbled on some of my own, and I'm continually looking at other processes that other people use to see if there's ways to make it even better. I just wish that it took less time to batch the auto stacker. That's the part that takes the most time now. I'm using a laptop that doesn't have a real fast processor. So part of that's on me, or on my equipment. We have 274 left. And hopefully we can't see the flares, but hopefully they're acting up. Hopefully, prayerfully. Da 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 do 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 da da do 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 do. My sweet Lord, I think you'd rather hear this. I love that song by Billy Preston. My Sweet Lord, one of the Beatles' greats. Paul McCartney's in it. George Harrison's son's playing in it. It's a YouTube video, just YouTube video, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, My Sweet Lord with Billy Preston singing. Wow, it is so good. Do 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 do. And tonight, if you're not doing anything and television's got you bored stiff, sign on to the YouTube channel, and I'll be fiddling around with trying to get Lunar. I don't have any problem with the Smith-Cassegrain, but I haven't used the Newtonian, and I've got to load software, planetarium software like SharpCap or Fire Capture. I'll probably use SharpCap. I like them both, but I was kind of weaned on SharpCap, and that's what I lean to. I kind of know it best, and if something messes up, I kind of know what I did. I'm not as comfortable with Fire Capture, but both of them are great software programs. If you buy the SharpCap Pro, It's got a great polar alignment feature. I don't use it. I use Sequence Generator Pro and Polemaster. But for deep space, people who use SharpCap for deep space imaging swear by it. It plate solves. And it has stacking software if you want immediate results. Good stuff. You really got to be thankful for people like Emil Kreikamp with AutoStacker and many others who have developed these software programs that we all use, and a lot of them like AutoStacker and PIPP and IMPPG, they're all free. Somebody developed them and shared them. I'd gladly pay. I make donations, and I hope everybody does. I don't have a lot to donate, but I do make usually annual donations to for AutoStacker. I know he has a place to do that. And AstroBin, I also kick in a little to AstroBin every year. I so appreciate having that repository of images taken by others that I can look at and learn from, check out their settings. Telescopius is also an awesome website for doing the same thing, helping you pick targets. A little bit too far. That works. We're having beautiful weather in Spartanburg, and here's the rub. It's going to be nice until I think Friday. We're not going to have a lot of rain, but we have the threat of rain for the next several days. I just hope we have a break in the clouds Sunday night from 10 when I go online with the lunar eclipse feed. And through the eclipse will run from, on the NASA site, will run from 11 to 12 Sunday night. And if you want to watch it from the NASA site, just go to live events. Once you get to the NASA, it's www.nasa.gov. You know, I think it's gov. I don't think it's org. I think it's gov. But just Google the NASA website. You can't miss it. And look for live events. And I really don't quite know how my feed's going to work. I just know they're going to be streaming it. I don't know if they're going to be streaming it all the time, or they're going to be going and switching from different stream feeds from different people that are also doing this around the world. I don't know. Mine might not even qualify for the NASA website. Once they start seeing my stream come in, they may not even, they may call me quick. I'm just thankful they gave me a shot at it. I'll be doing it anyway. I have already added the link to that feed on the YouTube channel, but I haven't made it visible yet. I'll put that link on this video because we're getting close to time. And I'm pretty sure clouds won't keep me from imaging, but I'm fearful that it might be clouds coming and clouds going, passing by, and that sort of a thing, kind of a night. It's a shame it's not the next 2 days because we have such perfect skies for deep space imaging. Scene conditions are good. If you've just joined, we are looking at the sun live. Our star has a lot of activity on the surface that you can't see, but you will when I finish the time lapse. There's a lot of solar flaring going on, and I just hope the flares are active and not just hanging in deep space sky. But we won't know until we do the time-lapse processing. It's kind of like Christmas time and opening packages. When you finally get it done and you open it, you sometimes go, wow, never expected it would be that good, or I didn't need another pair of socks. But thank you for the socks. What do you buy a 78-year-old man? Well, I saw a $780,000 Dobsonian on Scientific Explorer that I could get. $780,000 Dobsonian. My budget's $1 million, so I hate to step down. I wonder how many of those they've actually sold. Obviously observatory grade, but it's being sold to consumers. Just like you go buy a TAC or a plane wave. Anyway, our Celestron, Orion. Oh, there went a bird. Every so once in a while when I'm doing these, you'll see a jet fly through, as we're fairly close, within 10 miles of the Greenville Spartanburg airport. But there aren't very many cities today that you aren't close to some kind of an airport. Well, we almost have 50 in the can with 250 to go. It's 5 after 11. I'm going to 11:30, 1:30. So we have 2.5 hours left, and I should be close to getting 300. I will put this on pause and run downstairs and eat something because I've missed breakfast. I'm already thinking about food. I'm a heavy old man. But I am a workout nut. I'm speaking to all of my senior friends in astronomy. Make sure you're active. You don't have to work out like I work out, but it beats assisted living or nursing homes. So make sure you get out of the house, go to a gym. You can't do it at home. It never works out. Go to a gym, commit at least an hour a day. It takes 2 hours for me on the average, 3 hours on the weightlifting days. I walk 4 miles a day. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what my goal is. And interestingly enough, I'll probably hang and won't die of old age. But if I do live, I want to be able to take care of myself. I want to be able to live in my own home. I want to be able to help my wife if I need to. I don't want her going into assisted living and or a nursing home. And I want to be capable of doing whatever it takes to keep us in our home. I want to be able to lift my mounts and set them on the piers. And that takes a certain amount of strength, and you'll lose it if you don't use it. So I've done preaching. If you haven't already gotten spiritually prepared, I highly recommend you do that before you do anything. I'm not telling you how to do that, but I'm Christian. I'm not so naive to think I have all the answers, but I have the answers I need, and my faith is solid, and it has been for most of my life. I'm so blessed that that's happened. But you have to be both physically and spiritually prepared for aging, because there will be death around you if you live long enough. It'll be in your family. Some of them very untimely. Boy, I'm morbid today. I'll hush up. Oh, come back here before it. Yeah, it's good enough. All right. I believe I'm going to have to. Let's see. We've got 2:42 to go. Let's cancel it. And let's go delete the last two. I got to talking again. This one and this one's. So it's 2:44 to go. And not 2:42. So let's get centered. We need to go east. Let's start capture. We're at 2:44. And let's pick up where we left off. Actually, I was paying attention. Unfortunately, this AVX mount doesn't move the first when you tap this. I've got to move the backlash out of the gears, and then it moves. And you never know when it's going to kick in. So each time you're tapping this, you're subject to going too far. Now, it's more responsive in RA than it is in declination. Declination takes a lot longer to engage. RA is pretty quick. It jumps on you. Like if I click west or east, it's going to jump way over. Or west, it's going to jump back. But I'll have to click on north or south several times to get it to move. Okay, folks, I don't know of any reason why you would want to hang around and see more of this. But we're again time-lapsing for the second day in a row, and I intend to do it again tomorrow if there are some things remarkable on the sun. So you want to stop by again tomorrow for some more of the same. Let me move east a little bit. And I hope everybody has a great day. Take a few minutes to find somebody that you can say something nice to. I know when you do, you feel better for it. You help make their day. With that, I'll say good afternoon to you.